Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you for our evening together. My name is Suparna, and I'll give you a little introduction. I was born in India, brought up there, and I worked for a few years as a teacher before we arrived in the UK with a family, with 2 children. We have been in the UK for several years now, and I was introduced to the teachings at the Brahma Kumaris World Spiritual University 10 years ago. And today I would like to share with you my experiences on a topic that has been very true and practical in my personal life. I certainly hope you will all take away something from it. You can personalize it to yourselves. And when I was given the topic, which is stepping out of comfort zones, I actually smiled a little bit because comfort is what we all like. We all gravitate towards comfort. But comfort in what? And these are the little questions that we ask. What do we actually gravitate towards? Everything we do to feel secure, to feel loved, happy, cheerful, absolutely free. And we create ourselves these wonderful zones where we feel completely safe from fears. Somehow we convince ourselves that these spaces that we create for ourselves will keep us safe. I hadn't realized that I had created so many comfort zones, and I think we all do. And if we look at the various areas in our lives, we have our family, we have our work life, we have friends outside, education, our physical activities, in fact, every area of our life where we are looking for comfort. We want to be comfortable. And that seems to be a natural nature for all human beings. And I was thinking that I don't have only just one comfort zone. We create several. So for example, in a family, comfort can be a routine. Waking up in the morning, making your cup of tea, and going through the chores routinely, normally, as you always do. And one day rolls into another. And if something goes awry, something is not quite right, we will put it right. It's okay. We are still comfortable. In work, we are in our job, we are comfortable. And if we are not comfortable with our colleagues, we tend to avoid them. We sit in our own little office space and we tell ourselves, it's okay, I can work on my own. It's only a job, I'll finish it and go home to the comfort of my home. And then there are other areas. We can be invited to a party where we know only the friends, the hosts. They invite us in and they could then say, go on ahead, mingle with everybody. And suddenly we realize that we know none of them. And what do? We freeze. And it takes courage to come out and take a few tentative steps towards somebody so that we can speak with them. But even in that, we survey the room and move towards those who feel a little like us. I was wondering about what is my comfort zone and how do we choose these comfort zones? Why do we choose them? And the answer kept coming, identification. How do I identify myself? How do I see myself? Who am I? I am someone's daughter, a wife, a mother, a teacher, someone who's working in an office. What defines me? And if I'm at home, what am I using to be in comfort? If the family is listening to me, they are obeying my orders, my instructions, I'm comfortable. But as children, they would obey us. They would listen to them because their parents are their role models. But then that child grows up. It has a mind of its own, and it wants to explore the world. It wants to play with friends. And as teenage years arrive, they move more and more, further and further apart from us. And there is the mother left. They don't love me anymore. Suddenly there seems to be a vacuum where I used to do so much for them. Now there is no one left to do anything for. I'm only needed when they want me around. So this is only a small example, but we can see this trend in every area of our lives. We get uncomfortable and suddenly we're thrown out of our comfort zone. Let us think deeply about why we create these safe areas. We think they are safe zones, safe areas. And that everything will, if it's predictable, if it's not unchanging, we are okay. And the basic feature behind all of these, this creation of these so-called comfort zones is underlying fear. Fear of change, fear of loss, fear of the inability to cope with change. And as we all know, in the last 18 months, we have seen the most massive change that has affected every one of us. And not only that, every area of our lives, whether it's political, civil, education system, governments, confusion, ignorance, it's rampant. It's not only you and me, but the whole world of people who have been thrown out of their comfort zones. And we know for ourselves, when there is illness, when there is loss of a close one, when there is loss of jobs, fear increases. What will happen to me? How will I cope? And in the family, including me, there were many who came down with this virus. And I remember thinking, if I hadn't had this knowledge, I may not probably have been able to cope myself because I had put myself in a comfort zone. So I want to step back a little into my younger days. And I think you will all be able to identify with this yourselves. In India, my father was an army officer, so he was posted every 2 years, posted out every 2 years or 3 years. And I remember as a child how excited we would be to get on a train for 2 days or 3 days and enjoy the wind, the journey, the food we were eating. It was an adventure. And there was this childlike innocence that never allowed us to fear anything. And I remember there were no inhibitions. And this is what we see in children even today. They play freely. They have no worries. If they have any issues, any problems, they know their parents are there. They give all their problems to them and go ahead and start doing whatever they want to do. They fall out with one another. The next moment they're playing again. Children have this wonderful ability to let go. They don't hold on to anything. They will cry, they will fall, they will get hurt, but they bounce back. And this is what we were like. We didn't have separate comfort zones. We were always comfortable because we adjusted. We took the initiative. We created. We bounced back. So what is that energy that we don't face anymore, that we don't possess anymore? As we grow older, the pressures of society, pressures of work, education, jobs, somehow start to infiltrate within us. And we get bound by fear. I have to do this because it has become normal in society to study well, to get a good qualification, to get into a good job so that we can maintain a house, we can sustain the family we have created, and then we are safe. And then coming back to today, with COVID, there have been many job losses. Finance industry has come down. Many have lost their life's earnings, whether through investments, whether through debt. We never get out of this. But there is a way, and that is 3 words. Nothing is mine. Nothing can belong to me. If we just think about it carefully, we might think, yes, they are my children. This is my home. This is my car. But there's also a saying, I came with nothing and I will go with nothing. These 3 words, this one sentence, changed my entire perspective. When I came to the Brahma Kumaris and started studying Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga. Raj is Raja. Yoga is link or connection. And the first lesson was the lesson of who am I? It was a question that they were answering, a question that I'd always had since early childhood, wondering as a child even. And when they said, you are a being of peace, I remember asking, in fact, sharing, no, I'm not. I don't feel peace. I'm never peaceful. And they smiled and said, you are a being of peace. Peace is your innate nature. It is within you. You just haven't tapped into it. You just haven't used it because you have forgotten how to use it. And this was a big statement for someone who had created so many comfort zones to feel this peace and stillness. And then they said, you are a silent being. And what does silence mean? We are always looking for silence. We are always looking for peace. But we were looking on the outside. Happiness. They asked me a question. What would you like most for Christmas? What is it? What gift or gifts would you like most? Make a list. And children of today, or even people, will write a long list. Mobile phones, holidays, the list is endless. And on my list was peace and happiness. But I looked around me, I had everything. The family was there, The car I needed was there, the house is there, there's a job, there's money, and yet lack of peace and happiness. Because we tend to look to fulfill ourselves with this feeling of peace and experience of happiness from physical things. There are three portions to it. The being that I am in this human body, who has become the doing. For what? For things, for possessions that will bring me the peace that I'm looking for. In today's world, we have become human doings from human beings. And doing involves working, going to places, in all areas, whether it's cooking, cleaning, working, playing, everything we are doing to fulfill ourselves, to fill and experience that peace within us. And what do we do when we work? We work to own a house, to own a car, to give the best we can to the children. And often the feeling within is, I didn't have it in my childhood, I'd like my children to have it. Another one would say, I've always wanted that 40,000 pound car, so I'm going to work really hard to get it. And you spend 14, 15 hours working to earn that 40,000 pounds to get a car. And it takes one scratch on the car or one bad news to take away that happiness. When we start looking for and working so hard for happiness based on things that are material, things that are made of atoms, molecules, in fact, the elements. When we spend so much money on this body, today, the fashion industry is the most popular. Whatever the celebrities will wear, all the youngsters will follow, because they're looking to fulfill that self-esteem from copying what seems to have become extremely popular, the fashion. And there are many such examples. When we start depending on outside sources, outside elements, to experience happiness, to experience fulfillment, you will get it, very short-lived. So suddenly our comfort zones start to break down when we start realizing that happiness is very short-lived. I can go in for retail therapy. After 3 days, I want to go for another prize to make me happy. And so the human being has today become the human doing. It's looking for safety. Its self-esteem has become dependent on the positions it holds in work, the possessions it has, the relationships it has come into. You could be related to the Prime Minister or the Queen. My self-esteem becomes based on that. But in this world, the only thing constant is change. So where is the sense in creating any comfort zone based on physical things? Now they can be physical bodies. And by that, I mean in physical relationships. They can be positions. Jobs can go anytime. Am I identifying with my job, with my position? Is my identification, my identity based on my possessions? Is it that if I'm related to someone high in society, then my self-esteem is high? Simple things like, if I cook at home and I receive no appreciation, how low am I going to feel? People change, minds change, minds will think differently, and no two minds can be the same. As is said, if you always do what you have always done, you will always get what you always got. This is what happens when we create comfort zones based on physical things, people, relationships, possessions, and positions. So let us explore the human being, the being in the human body. Human body is made of the 5 elements, and we know 72-75% is water. And then we have the bones and muscles, which is earth. There is air in the lungs, in between the cells. Every cell releases photonic energy. And this is what it is. And this is why it's said, dust to dust. When a soul leaves the body or the light has gone out of the body. So we'll have a look at how to return from being human doings to human beings. Because happiness is truly my birthright. I now want to create a comfort zone that isn't short-lived. This comfort zone is constant. It is permanent. Happiness is my power. Peace, silence is my power. And now I'm going to take it back. So let us explore these ideas of spirituality. And that is what at the Brahma Kumaris, when we learn Raj Yoga, we say Raj Yoga meditation. And many of you would have done the course as well. Many of you would be hearing Sister Shivani. What is she doing but speaking about life skills? Because life is a journey and it's our greatest teacher. Often it's said, life isn't a bed of roses, but a rose plant, a beautiful rose stem is full of thorns that protect the rose from animals. They won't come near the rose, but the rose is not affected by the thorns. It maintains its fragrance, its beauty, its softness. It's not looking for appreciation, but it willingly shares itself with others. It's not judging, it's not comparing itself, it is content. And that is why we do what we do, for contentment. Raj Yoga. The yoke, the link or the connection with the highest power, the source of constant happiness, constant peace, silence, joy. Connection with that source makes me, the being in this human form, the master of my own mind and my intellect. It is the mind that creates many thoughts on any event that happens. As a human doing, why do we come into judgments, comparisons, competition? Because we give meaning to every event that happens. We give it a meaning through our thoughts. And whatever I think about that event creates my feelings, my emotions. These feelings could be jealousy, envy, anger, discontent, or they could be feelings of absolute excitement, joy. But we are unable to maintain that. Raj Yoga teaches us that we have the right to be sovereigns of our own minds, intellect, in fact, our entire destiny. But we can't do that until we step out of this comfort zone. If I am still identifying with, I am a mother, I am a worker, I have the best house, or my identity is I am safe, I have everything, then I am never going to be able to learn anything new. Then, as I said, whatever you do consistently will return to you in the same measure. So we always reap whatever we sow. If we are thinking repeatedly in the same way, we will come into the same actions. Our actions will give us the same experiences over and over again. And the quality of that experience will make me create the same thoughts. And we get caught in this neural pathway, this circuit that is moving only in one direction. And this is conditioning. We condition ourselves, we condition our body to behave the way we have taught it to behave. And a simple example of this is if you are going to work, say, and you take one route all the time. For the first couple of days, you'll be very attentive. You'll be looking at landmarks, the scenery, you'll be paying attention to the time, to the traffic. But after the fourth or fifth day, you don't have to pay attention. Your mind could be elsewhere, but you will reach. This is the power that we have. We can condition our body, condition our mind and our brain to do whatever we want it to do. But we don't realize this. The good thing is, if we have conditioned ourselves to feel, to experience a certain way, we can always unlearn that and recondition ourselves. Sometimes, or many a time, my identification is based on the religion I'm following. Am I a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, a Sikh? Many religions. And if you ask them, who are you? Which religion? Oh, I am so-and-so. Religion comes from a word religio, which means to reconnect to the root, the seed. And in Raj Yoga, we learn what that seed is. The point, the soul, the spirit, the psyche, anima. It's been known by many names. The most popular is point of light. But this isn't the normal light that we see. It is the light of wisdom, light of truth, light of purity, of peace, happiness, love, and powers. This is our comfort zone. Whatever comfort zones we have created based on physical things, let me for a few moments come out of it. Let me allow myself to experience something new. Because if we don't step out of it to explore new horizons, nothing will change for us. And we will continue to make the same mistakes as we have always been making, or to experience the same experiences and feelings that we have always been having. We can come out of that survival mode. Trees, nature survives. From a seed grows a tree, a plant, and then it dies. But we don't want to just survive. There are many who just exist. Now, existence is when my inner happiness, inner peace, contentment becomes based on outside sources. We start copying or conforming to what is taken as normal. Normal then becomes everybody following the same way of thinking, same way of doing. And many people then come together to form a community of people who are following the norm. This is the way things are done. And if anyone steps out and does it differently, they're not normal. But opposed to normal is what is natural to us. And what is natural is what we are constantly working for. Happiness, peace, love, contentment. Einstein once said that if a mistake has occurred at a certain level of consciousness, it can only be put right by raising your level of consciousness. Consciousness is our awareness. Who am I truly? In what awareness am I speaking, acting, doing things? Consciousness means that I am aware of my every thought, aware of the intention behind that thought, aware of what action I'm going to take, and also aware of the end result of that action. And it all happens very, very quickly in our minds. It also means that I now start watching my thoughts. Thoughts are the seeds for all actions. If there was no thought, there would be no words, there would be no action. Existence based on outside sources for happiness and peace is short-lived. But there are some of us who want to breathe deeply and freely. We want to explore. We want to come out of the norm to experience the natural. We don't then know what is natural. But common sense tells us natural is, I want to be always happy, always peaceful. This is why we are looking for peace all the time. We go to war for peace. The two conflicting energies, two conflicting vibrations cannot give us a cure, a solution. And so the ones who want to live, to breathe, will explore. And this is when you start coming out of this comfort zone. And you want to find answers. And it's very interesting. Then when you start having an aim, you have a goal. I am exploring, I am seeking. So I become the seeker. I'm still doing everything, looking after the family, going to work. That will carry on. But my seeking doesn't stop. And it's very interesting that when we are focused, our vibration radiates towards a certain specific goal, things start to move in the cosmos to make that possible for us. And that is how I came about the spiritual study, because I was seeking. I had been seeking for many, many years, but suddenly there came a time when I was truly consistently seeking answers. And suddenly, within the next few days, I started receiving books on spirituality, on the cosmos, things like this, books named like Proof of Heaven. All these kinds of books my friends were giving to me out of nowhere. And they said, we don't know why, we just thought you would like it. But the best gift for me was when I started having my answers through studying Raj Yoga. And if I simplify it, the teachings at the Brahma Kumaris is soul. Every soul has a parent, the Supreme Soul, the one we have been calling out through many religions for a very long time. Oh God, Khuda, Prabhu, Ishwar, and many, many more names. And third, reincarnation. Now, this concept may seem very alien to some of you, but come out of that comfort zone and explore it. A very simple way of looking at it is, have a look at the family members in your home and see how different or similar are they in their personalities. Children in the house, are they absolutely the same? Or are they like chalk and cheese? Born to the same parents, born in the same environment, receiving the same level of education, and yet their personalities are so different. Every soul, I learned in this study, has been on a long journey. It has gone through many lifetimes, human bodies. To be honest, 84 is what they say in one cycle of 5,000 years. And each human life is a human experience where each one of us has had a new set of parents, family, experiences, and we have acquired lots of personality traits or sanskars. And then comes a time when our human experience in that body is over, we leave and take another one. And I'm inviting you to just explore it. Come out of that zone to explore and see if there is a truth you can find in it. And so with each lifetime, with each human experience, we start acquiring personality traits. We let go of some, we acquire some. We like some, we create our preferences and conditioning as well. But through every human experience, our natural innate nature always remains the same. The soul will always do whatever it does for peace, happiness, love, joy. But then we are also endowed with the powers to go through this life journey. Because we meet different souls in bodies, different personalities. Sometimes we get along. Sometimes we just have to tolerate. Sometimes we let go. Sometimes we have to face situations. At times there is confusion and we don't know what to do. And in those times we can withdraw within ourselves, take a step back and just observe the event or situation. No reaction, just observing, getting an understanding of what is happening. And then we are able to use our intellect to quietly move the thoughts in a different direction. So this is our SOS. You stand back, you observe, and then you steer your thoughts in the right direction. The focus is on creating only peace and happiness for yourself. And the more we emerge these natural virtues and powers within us, the stronger they will become. And dependencies on people being around me, my job being always being there, the comfort of my friends, they will always be there. These dependencies start to diminish and we start to become powerful. Just by stepping out of our self-created little comfort zones and exploring, we begin to realize the power that we are. No longer are we bound by these five senses. What were we doing? Whatever we saw, we thought was right. Whatever we heard created our impressions, and then our thoughts were based on whatever we were seeing, whatever we were hearing. We created a perception, and our attitudes formed because of that. And as is my attitude, so will be my actions. So will be my preferences. But when I realize that I'm a being who's free, a spiritual being who is on a human journey, and this journey takes me through many situations, many crests and troughs, that I'm like a visitor here. And I choose to enjoy every scene because I can stay back, detached from it and observing it like a drama, like a film. And when I'm required to take part in it, I always have a choice to take part in it. So let us take a few moments of silence and explore. I see myself as a silent being of pure light. The body is sitting comfortably. And I, the being, am in this sacred space in the center of my forehead. A tiny yet powerful point of light. Like a star, I radiate the energy of happiness, the energy of stillness. I am aware of the world around me, the sounds and sights and movements. But I, the being, am a silent being, a peaceful soul, content where I am, as I am. My pace is not to rush or run. I am aware that every task will happen. I just have to be comfortable and confident. Nothing can touch me. Nothing can harm me. I am a powerful being. Let me hold this silence within. It is a restful silence. The mind is quiet. It doesn't need to create thought. And in this silence, I realize, I understand who I am. I choose to return from doing into being. I choose to live freely with everyone but as a powerful being, the master of its mind and its intellect. My decisions are my choices, and every decision is based on deep understanding, peace, and love for all. Thank you. A very long time ago, someone shared with me that each human being has three personalities: child, adult, and old. And this was very interesting because a 92-year-old could have the personality of a child and is very energetic. The body may not be moving, but the soul is very light and easy and free. It goes through situations, it has to face events, but it bounces back very quickly. It has the energy of cheerfulness and happiness, of being able to mold, just as real gold can mold easily. And gold does not react. I suppose that's why it has so much esteem and value. And then there is the personality of the adult. And those with an energy of adult become serious about job, serious about things. Everything has to be in the right order. They are constantly creating comfort zones. And they are called mature. But this can happen at any age. And then there is the personality of the old. Now, a 25-year-old person could have the energy of the old, or that personality that is dominant. For this young 25-year-old, everything could be all over. Everything is heavy. Everything is difficult. They are dependent. Oh, I can't do this. It's too much. It's an energy that is dependent on others. And I found this very, very interesting because if you observe yourself through the day, which personality am I using? The child, the adult, or the old? Throughout the day, check in yourselves. In any situation, am I being the old, the adult, or the child? Am I taking an initiative, looking for solutions? Is my cup not only half, but full? Half full, but fully full? As opposed to my cup is always half empty. I don't know how to do this. I'm constantly coming into many questions. Why did this happen to me? I'm the victim. In essence, I'm like a beggar who's always asking, give me, give me, give me. But the one who is the child is living. They are full. And anytime they don't feel that full, they will do something to help themselves become full. They step out of any comfort zone which starts to creep in. Because ego, which is any negative, low vibration energy, will very quickly try to pull us down. But the more child energy we have, the more is the energy to bounce back like children. So the more we hold this energy, the more we will have in our awareness who we are. We are powerful beings. We are happy beings. We only have to use these virtues, these powers, more and more in our daily lives. So I wanted to just discuss certain things that we can put to keep us out of these short comfort zones of dependencies and create a large, eternal, constant comfort zone of happiness and peace. We don't lose it, come what may, because now we realize who we are. Sentient beings, conscient beings. There's a very nice story that really I hold to myself and remind myself of, and it was shared by a senior teacher at the Brahma Kumaris. It's a story of the eagle and the chicken. There was a farmland with many chickens, and among them was a little baby eagle, an egret. How it got there, I do not know, but it lived among the chickens, it behaved like the chickens, tried to pluck like them, and was happy with what the farmer was giving, little grains. And every night it would allow itself to be locked up in the hen coop. It was happy. It was going through life. It was normal. It was its norm. And one fine day in the deep blue skies was an eagle that was flying. And with its sharp eyes, it looked down and found this little baby eagle among the chickens. So it swooped down and said, "What are you doing here?" He says, look, I'm a chicken. I can fly so well. I'm eating all the grains. Go away. Why are you here? Who are you? He says, I'm an eagle that flies freely in the skies. And so are you. You're a baby eagle. He said, go away. I don't know what you're talking about. And then the farmer comes along, the eagle flies away, and this little egret happily allows itself to be locked up in a coop filled with hens and chickens. But the next few days, the eagle keeps swooping down. And one day he says, let me show you something. And it starts to flap its wings. He says, you try it. He says, no, I'm a chicken. He says, just try. Try to flap. You have wings. Chickens can fly too. He says, oh, can they? He says, yes, try. And he flaps its wings. He says, now hop like me. He says, I'm a chicken. I can't. Chickens don't hop. He says, try it. Enjoy it. You're a baby. You should learn to play. And it starts to hop and flap. Hop, hop, flap, flap. And soon one day it takes off into the sky with the eagle. And it flies freely in the sky. And it looks down on the farmland with the chickens. And then the farmer is locking them away in the hen coop, in their comfort zone. All we have to do is flap our wings. We have everything within us. We have the virtues of peace, purity, love, happiness, bliss, powers. Everything is within us. All we have to do, whatever situation comes in front of us. Let me remember, I only have to flap my wings. I only have to see which virtue, which power I can call upon to face this situation, to deal with the situation. And I don't get ruffled. I step back and I observe. When I do this, I am in the living mode. And gradually, as we start doing this, we start getting the experience. Because even as a baby, it crawls first, and then it starts to walk, and it takes tentative steps, and it falls many times, but it doesn't stop trying. And as we face one situation after another and after another, our experiences grow. And as our experiences accumulate and we become the authority of experience, the fear automatically diminishes. And the people we were trying to avoid, the situations that we were trying to avoid because of fear or dislike, or whatever the reason may be, they stop coming in front of us. And if you notice carefully, whatever you are avoiding or whoever you are avoiding will constantly be in your face. They will come in front of you without notice. But once you face them, once you offer a hand of friendship, once you come out of your comfort zone and say, no, let me speak with them. Let me share myself with them. Let me interact with them. And you open the door for them to open themselves to you, to interact with you. And the right energy of happiness begins to flow. And then you realize how much there is that we can learn from one another. Every situation, every person comes as a teacher for me to learn. So life is a teacher with its many props and many little teachers, and I am leading a student life. And it is said popularly that student life is the best life. So this is a journey where we learn, we experience by applying these very simple, very easy laws of spirituality. In reality, I am a spiritual being on a human journey. And now that I know who I am, and this light of knowledge is shining on me, I keep it to myself. I apply it, experiment with it. I experience the result of it. And my experience will keep me in a different comfort zone. A zone where I'm constantly happy, constantly experiencing this light feeling of comfort, rest. I'm not in any competition with anybody. So let us take a few more moments, meditate on these few simple spiritual laws. And this time, let us connect to the source, a pure being of light. I connect to the ocean of love, the light of knowledge. I see myself in this home of peace. And as I experience the company of our true parent, the Supreme, I experience the vibration of godly love. A love that is unconditional. A love that is pure. It doesn't judge. It is a silent love that empowers me to do the best I can, to live up to my full potential. It is a love that sets me free. The powers of God are my powers, created in His image, a point of light, the being of absolute peace. I am determined to emerge the power of my will, to use all my skills, my virtues, and powers to go through this life's journey. We all have willpower. We all have many qualities that we haven't used with our family of souls. The whole world is my family. I am not anymore limited by the five senses of this body. I am in my unlimited awareness. I now see with understanding. I do not judge, but I see and understand everything as it is, giving it the right meaning. There was a time when my habits were not right, but discipline is our innate sanskar, a tendency. And I use the discipline to continue with those habits. I now make a decision to change those habits. No longer am I in my comfort zone of peace and happiness that is dependent on external factors, on bodily relations, possessions, and positions. I am awake now, and in this awareness that I am a spiritual being in this human body, going through a human experience, I choose my every thought, my every action. I choose my experiences and let go of those that bring me down. As a master, I choose to become an authority of experiences, of happiness, of love, peace. Peace for all. Love for all the world, souls and nature. The more I share these beautiful virtues and powers, the more they grow in me. Let me allow the vibrations, the godly vibrations of peace, happiness, to radiate from me at every moment. My inner world becomes beautiful, light, easy, comfortable. And so does my outer world. Whatever seed I sow now will in time bear fruit. I choose to sow the best seeds and reap many fruits, not just for myself, but for all. Thank you. Om Shanti. Om, I the soul. Shanti, I'm a being of peace.